Hi everyone, my name is KNS Swami. In this video, I am going to discuss about the isotropic and anisotropic effect. Okay, so here isotropic and anisotropic effect. Okay, so isotropic effect and anisotropic effect. Okay, so in the case of ESR spectroscopy, the value of G, which is depends upon the isotropic effect and anisotropic effect. Okay, as we know that the value of G can be affected by some factors. So here the factor that is electron density. So the value of G is directly proportional to the electron density. Okay, the direction of the electron density. Okay, so based on that, okay, here in the case of isotropic effect and the anisotropic effect, how can you explain the value of G along x direction and y direction and z direction based on the electron density in the compound? So let us see isotropic effect and anisotropic effect. Now let us see isotropic effect. Okay, this effect generally we can observe in the case of gaseous state compounds. Okay, gaseous state compounds and aqueous compounds or solution phase compounds. Okay, so solution state or aqueous. Okay, or liquid state. Okay, so whatever may be the gaseous phase or solution phase, okay, those are non-crystalline compounds. Okay, non-crystalline compounds. Okay, so this anisotropic effect can be observed in the case of gaseous state and solution or liquid state and non-crystalline compounds. Okay, so in this case, the value of G along x-axis and along z-axis and along y-axis, okay, that we have observed, okay, there are equal values along x-axis and along y and along z-axis. So here the electronic distribution, okay, the electron density will be distributed along x-axis and y-axis and z-axis are same. So at that case, okay, the value of G, that is the value of G along x-axis is equal to the value of G along y-axis and along z-axis. Okay, so here, okay, the electron density is equal in all the directions. That's why here, okay, electron density is the G value will be depends upon the electron density. Okay, so here, okay, G value, okay, G is directly proportional to the electron density. Okay, so here we have, okay, equal electron density along all the axes, that is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So that's why Gx is equal to Gy is equal to Gz. Okay, so we have only one set of line. So we have only one set of line. So here we can observe one set of lines in the case of isotropic effect. Okay, so in the case of isotropic effect, we have, okay, along x-axis and along y-axis and along z-axis we have similar electronic distribution. So that's why here same G value along all the directions. So we can observe one set of lines in the case of isotropic effect. So now let us see, okay, what is in the case of anisotropic effect. Okay, so here let us see anisotropic effect. So here anisotropic effect. So this anisotropic effect can be observed in crystalline solid. So this particular anisotropic effect can be observed in crystalline solids. Okay, so in these crystalline solids, okay, there are three kinds of possible distribution of electrons along x-axis and y-axis and z-axis. The first possibility, that is, okay, here there is a different electronic density. Okay, there is a different electron density along x-axis and y-axis and z-axis. So that is the first case. So in that case, okay, there is a different g values that can be observed along x-axis and y-axis and z-axis. So at that case, okay, gx is not equal to gy and it is not equal to gz. So this is in the case of not symmetric molecules. This kind of molecules or compounds will not having symmetry. Okay, so generally we can observe this kind of thing in orthorhombic and rhombohedral geometry. Okay, so this kind of thing that can be observed in the case of orthorhombic geometry or rhombohedral geometry. So in this case, we can observe three set of lines because here we have three different g values. Okay, so along x-axis and y-axis and z-axis electronic density is different. So that's why, okay, three different g values that we have observed in this case. So here they are not having, okay, not symmetric. Okay, these compounds are not symmetric. Okay, so they are not symmetric. Okay, so here we can observe three set of lines. Three sets of lines. Okay, so here the next case is, okay, here we have gx is equal to gy, but here it is not equal to gz. Okay, here we have g along x-axis and along y-axis we have same electron density, but along z-axis we have different electron density. So here we have two kinds of electronic densities that we have observed in this case. So in this case, okay, here these kind of molecules will be having the axis of symmetry. Okay, axis of symmetry. Okay, axis of symmetric molecules that we have observed in this case. Okay, so here three kinds of geometries that are exhibits this kind of situation. So here we have two kinds of g values. So in this case we have distorted octahedral, and also square planar, and also square pyramidal. Okay, so these three kinds of molecules can be exhibit this kind of g values. Two kinds of g values along x and y axis having similar g values, and along z axis they have different g value. Okay, so here we can observe two sets of lines. Okay, so the next case is, okay, cubic symmetric molecules. Okay, here in that case, okay, gx is equal to gy is equal to gz. So along all the directions we have similar electron density. Okay, so that's why we have only one kind of g value that we have observed in the case of gx and gy and gz. Okay, so along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis we have similar electronic distribution. So this kind of thing that we have observed in the case of cubic symmetrical. Okay, so cube type symmetry, okay, that we have observed cubic symmetric molecules in this case. So here, okay, in this case generally regular octahedral complexes. So regular octahedral complexes can exhibit this kind of situation, okay, this kind of G value, and also a regular cubic structure. So the perfect cubic structure or cubic structure. Okay, cubic structure molecules can also exhibit this kind of situation. So here in this case we can observe only one set of lines. Okay, so in this way, in the case of anisotropic effect, okay, this anisotropic effect exhibited by the crystalline solids. So in this one we have three kinds of situations. So one is non-symmetric molecules. They are having three sets of lines. Okay, so here they have different G values along x-axis and y-axis and z-axis, because they are having different electron densities along x and y and z-axis. And in the case of axis of symmetric molecules, we have two kinds of G values. Okay, along x and y they have similar electron density, and along z-axis they have different electron density. Okay, so this kind of thing that we have observed in the case of distorted octahedral geometry and square planar geometry and square pyramidal geometry. So in the case of cubic systems, okay, cubic symmetric molecules, so we have only one kind of G value, because all the directions are having similar electron density. So in that case we have only one set of lines that we have observed in the case of these cubic symmetric molecules. Okay, so this is about the anisotropic effect. So how to solve the questions based on this anisotropic effect and isotropic effect. How they are asking questions related to this G value. Okay, so generally we have observed G perpendicular case and G parallel case. Okay, what is G perpendicular case and G parallel case? So by using this G perpendicular and parallel case, how to find out whether that complex is a distorted octahedral, or whether that compound will be having Z out case or Z in case. Okay, so which direction will be having more electron density, and which direction will be having less electron density. That all those things we can identify by using this isotropic effect and anisotropic effect. So let us see one by one. As we know that in the case of ESR spectroscopy, okay, we are applying the external magnetic field, that is B naught. Okay, so here if you apply this external magnetic field along z-axis, so this is z-axis, this is z-axis. So now here the G value along this z-axis, that is Gz. Okay, so here this is the Gz. Okay, now here in this case, this Gz, which is parallel to the external magnetic field. So that's why here G parallel is equal to Gz. G parallel is equal to Gz. Okay, so if you consider x-axis and y-axis, so here again this is a z-axis. This is z-axis. So this is external magnetic field, okay, which is applied along z-axis. So if you consider the G value along x-axis, okay, the G value along x-axis, that is this one. So this is x-axis, and the G value along y-axis. Okay, so this x-axis and y-axis, which is perpendicular to the z-axis. So here this x-axis and y-axis, which is perpendicular to the z-axis. So that's why here G perpendicular is equal to the Gx and Gy. Okay, so this is Gx and Gy is equal to the G perpendicular, and G parallel is equal to the Gz. Okay, so here, okay, in our examination, okay, they are asking two cases. One is, okay, G parallel is greater than G perpendicular. Okay, this is one case, and second case is Okay, G perpendicular is greater than G parallel. Okay, so in which kind of situation, okay, we can observe G parallel is greater than G perpendicular, and in which situation we can observe G perpendicular is greater than G parallel. Okay, so let us see example. So that is D9 system in octahedral complexes. Okay, so in the case of D9 system, okay, that is copper plastic. So here in the case of D9 octahedral, okay, D9 octahedral geometry. So here in this case we can observe two kinds of situations. Okay, so here we can observe John-Taylor distortion in this D9 octahedral system. So here in this John-Taylor distortion, we have Z out case and Z in case. Okay, so in Z out case, okay, let us consider Z out case. Z out case. Okay, so here in this Z out case, okay, Z out D9 system, okay, we have dxz and dyz and dxy and dz square and dx square minus y square. So here these are the d orbitals in the case of Z out case. So here if you fill the electrons, okay, here we have 9 electrons. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 and 9. Okay, so there is a asymmetry at T2G asymmetry at EG orbitals. So here, okay, this is the electronic distribution in the case of Z out case. So if you consider this one, okay, here in along Z axis we have 2 electrons and along x and y axis we have 1 electron. It means, okay, along Z axis we have more electron density when compared to along x and y direction. So here we have, okay, along Z axis we have G parallel. Okay, so along Z axis we have G parallel. So here, okay, along Z axis we have more electron density. So that means, okay, here in the case of along x and y axis, that is G perpendicular. So we know that, okay, so G parallel is equal to along Z axis electron density along Z axis, and G perpendicular is equal to electron density along x axis and electron density along y axis. Okay, now here, okay, if you consider this one, so here along Z axis we have more electron density and when compared to along x and y direction. So here, so this is the situation we have observed in the case of Z out case. Okay, so this is the situation that we have observed in the case of Z out case. Okay, now let us see Z in case. Okay, Z in case. Okay, Z in case. Okay, so here in this Z in case, okay, these are the so this is dxy and dyz, dzx and dx square minus y square and dz square. So here we have 2 electrons in the dxy and there are 6 electrons up to now. So here we have, okay, in this way there is a electronic distribution in the Z case. Okay, so in this case, so here in this case we have more electron density along x and y direction when compared to dz square. Okay, so in that case, okay, dx square minus y square, it means along x direction and along y direction we have more electron density than the z direction. Okay, so we know that okay, the g value is directly proportional to the electron density. Okay, so we know that gx and gy, that is g perpendicular. So this g perpendicular, okay, this g perpendicular is greater than G parallel, because here okay, Gx and Gy is greater than Gz. So that's why here Gx and Gy means okay, that is G perpendicular, okay, which is greater than okay, Gz, which is equal to the G parallel. Okay, so this is the two kinds of situations that we have observed in the case of Z in case and Z out case. Okay, so this is the Z out case. Okay, in this Z out case we have G parallel is greater than G perpendicular. In the case of Z in case we have G perpendicular is greater than G parallel. So in this way we can find out whether the complex is Z in case or Z out case by using these two relations. So these two relations indicates the whether the compound will be having will be in the Z in case or Z out case. Okay, so this is about the how to find out Z in case and Z out case in the case of D9 octahedral system. Okay, now let us see in the case of a square planar system. So in the case of square planar system also, in the case of Z out system, okay, we have same relation. So okay, here G parallel is greater than G perpendicular. So if you consider for a free electron, that is the G value for free electron, okay, which is less than this one. So here okay, this can be elaborated like this: G parallel is greater than G perpendicular. It is also greater than GE, where G is the G value for free electron. So here in this also G perpendicular is greater than G parallel is greater than GE. So this is the relation. Okay. So this is about the Z in case and Z out case. Okay. In octahedral system. So in square planar system, okay, we can observe Z out case. So at that case also we have same relation. Okay. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.